Leila Kaka joked in her speech to Chrysler, "We have to pause and ask ourselves, how much clean air do we really need?" Today I'm going to be discussing different forms of alternative fuel. So why is this important? Fossil fuels release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere that pollute the environment. So in order to protect the earth, we're going to have to discover other forms of fuel. So the different forms of energy that I'm going to be talking to you about today are going to be natural gas, electricity, ethanol, and hydrogen. This is a graph showing energy efficiency, and energy efficiency is just the least amount of energy that is needed to provide the same amount of work. So the first source that I'm going to be talking to you about today is ethanol. Ethanol is an alcohol-based fuel, and the way that it's made is that they ferment crops and mix it with gasoline in order to reduce the amount of emissions. The negative impact that this would have is that it would have an impact on our food cost and food availability. So the next resource that I'm going to discuss is natural gas. Natural gas is already readily available, and it's a clean burning fuel. So what that means is that there is no CO2 emission. The drawback to this is that during the production of natural gas, methane is released into the atmosphere, and methane is 21 times worse than CO2 for the environment. Another potential source is electricity. In a car, it would be battery powered, and electricity is actually a very highly efficient form of energy. And this would be very plausible for a mass scale because we already have an extensive electricity network in place. The drawback to this is that the way that we produce electricity now, we're burning coal, and when you burn coal, it releases CO2 into the atmosphere, so there's still a polluting effect. However, according to Clean Technica, it's still the best option for mass scale production. So finally, hydrogen. The way that hydrogen works is that it's added to the natural gas that I discussed earlier, and the hydrogen natural gas is actually going to eliminate the methane that is released during the regular process of natural gas. The drawback to this is that it is very expensive and extremely hard to make, so it's not very practical for a mass use. So in conclusion, there are a lot of different options for alternative fuel sources. I didn't talk about all of them, but there are pros and cons to every single one. But there are a lot of viable solutions that we can use in order to reduce pollution.